Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to D&Z TV. It's beginning to be more interesting right now as a couple of other people are beginning to get involved in this issue that has to do with Naomi's being kept in detention. Yes, it's beginning to get pretty interesting as the Ifa priest has actually sent a note of warning to the Ooni of Ife to make sure that he does everything in his power and his capacity to make sure that Naomi is released from detention. Hello, everyone, and welcome to D&Z TV, the place where we are designed with just one mandate to make sure that we keep you entertained, keep you informed, and keep you glued with everything that you need and require to make your stay in this place a wonderful one. So, if you've not subscribed to our channel, what are you waiting for? Quickly go down to the subscription button, click it, click on the comment section, drop any message, and we will definitely do one thing right to make sure that we get back to you and keep you informed and keep you entertained. All right, so now let us go straight to the gist of the matter. Now, the gist of the matter right now is that Ifa priest has actually sent a very strong worded warning to the Ooni of Ife to let him know that it is his prerogative to make sure that the Ooni is no more kept in detention. Yes, it's his right, it's his place to make sure that the Ooni should do everything in his power to make sure that Naomi does not spend a single night again at the detention place. They said this because the Ifa priests are of the opinion that Naomi has a lot to do with the Ooni's life. That Ooni's umbilical cord is actually tied to that of Naomi. Now both of them are designed to be one, not minding the fact that she left. That she left because they had some differences they were not able to sort out. But with the fact that she's actually in a challenge right now, the Ooni should do everything to make sure that Naomi is no more incarceration. Yeah, it's very important and beautiful because so many people have been saying different things that the Ooni does not care, the Ooni does not have any feelings for Naomi. They've been saying a lot of things, but in all of this, right? In all of this, the Ooni has a very major role to play. He has a major role to play because he needs to make sure that he comes and activates whatever that is needed to make sure that Naomi does not sleep or spend any day in detention anymore. This is what the Ooni ought to have done since. And it is really good right now that at least the Ifa priests are also beginning to speak the truth. They need to speak the truth because anyhow you want to look at it, the Ifa priests have a whole lot to play in making sure that sanity returns back to the palace. A lot of people initially before now did not really understand that they have a whole lot to do. Yes, they actually have a lot to do. Before now, people have been thinking that the Oni is a dictator where he can do whatever he wants to do as he wishes to do it and stuff. But no, the Oni is actually under some certain control. They are actually people that actually put some level of control in the Oni, and these are the people that the Oni listens to. These are the people that the Oni pays attention to, because if he does not pay attention to them, then he is definitely bound to have issues. Now, if you want to look at it very well, in the palace there's some very serious organogram in the palace, in the sense that there are people who needs to be respected. There are people who just needs to who needs to be respected in any way you want to see it. They need to be respected in every way round. So in this instance now, where the Oni himself is now beginning to behave as if he's a child, it is very necessary and important that these are the people that can actually put the Oni back in place. And right now, they've actually stood up to their responsibility. They've actually told Oni to do everything to make sure that Naomi does not remain in prison. Because if she does, Ooni himself is going to have an everlasting suffering. I mean, this actually seems to be like one of the strongest voices that has actually aired up their minds in this incident. Yes, This is one of the most powerful voices that has aired their minds in this incident. They have been able to air their minds because they now feel that as custodians of the law, as custodians of the tradition, if they do not come out to say something, if they do not come out to speak, things will definitely go south. And when things go south, they'll definitely be put to blame. Yes, they'll be put to blame in any way you want to look at it. Blame is definitely going to be theirs. And these are people, the thing now is that it's just the way things have changed. Before now, these people used to be very, very, very close to God. These people in fact, they could actually be called semi-gods before now, because people come to listen to them, they hear from God, then people now, they hear from God and now pass this information to the people. So if in instances like this now comes where they are no longer hearing from God, then it becomes a big issue. It becomes a big problem where people will definitely find it pretty difficult and pretty hard to see that things work as they should. There are instances where people have tried to boycott the gods, but right now the gods are beginning to be wise. The gods are beginning to come out to say things the way they ought to be said. The gods are beginning to come out to say that, okay, you should do this, you should not do this, you should do this, you should not do this. Like allowing Naomi to suffer in detention is something that the gods will not permit. Yes, the gods will not permit this in any way. So if the gods cannot permit Naomi to suffer in detention, why would the Ooni now keep silent? Why would the Ooni now not put an extra energy, an extra mile to make sure that Naomi does not spend a night in that place? I mean, if the Ooni wanted to show his power the way he has been powerful all these years, then I tell you something, by now this issue of Naomi could have been a settled deal. But the Ooni, as a matter of fact, is actually not paying attention. The Ooni, as a matter of fact, is not paying attention. The Ooni, as a matter of fact, is not even wanting to get associated with the incident. Imagine, from since when this thing happened, the Ooni has actually not come to say anything. Whereas he ought to have made a public statement. He made a public statement that will actually exonerate Naomi, because it's actually what the Ooni says that the courts are going to listen to. In as much as I know, no one is above the law. Now, the Ooni getting involved is actually not because he wants to show that he's above the law. No, it's not about being above the law. What he's just trying to say there is that he needs to get involved so that Naomi's case will be made pardonable. Because anyhow you want to look at it, the woman is still the mother of your child. And since she's the mother of your child, it is your place to make sure she does not spend a single night at the prison. All right, people, this is where we'll be stopping. It is a good thing to know and to hear that the Ifa priests have actually issued a very, very strong warning to the Ooni to make sure that Naomi does not spend a single night in detention anymore. All right, this is where we're going to be stopping till we come your way again. I remain D and Z TV, your brother and your friend online. Thank you and God bless you all. Bye-bye.